What's up guys, it's CyBo here. Sorry for not uploading daily this week. I've been rather busy with schoolwork because I'm homeschooled and other stuff as well. I came across this video what is rather interesting about manspreading and stuff like that. It's rather old, but I decided to do it because it's a different sort of thing to do. Of course it's done by BuzzFeed because BuzzFeed is the place to go when you're doing commentaries.
My balls! I don't want my balls sticking to my legs!
And it is very uncomfortable. But I can't really say anything because I do need some work down below, if I must say myself. I'm sorry if I hurt anybody, but it's not particularly unusual to sit like that. And then of course, it's not going to be unusual when you're sitting next to two other people who are doing the same just because it's comfortable.
Manspreading is when a man spreads his physical body to take up as much space as humanly possible.
I'm pretty sure you're getting it wrong here. The reason why is the bits can get rather painful if you sit in wrong positions. So being a bit more spread out is less painful because you're not confining it to a certain place.
The people around you are relegated to a very small portion, but the key to manspreading is not noticing.
We grow up on...
Well then that's because they got used to having legs spread out so they don't hurt themselves.
On two different tracks. People who manspread just are socialized not to worry about it.
Well then that's because they got used to having legs spread out so they don't hurt themselves. And would you rather be not worried about anything or in extreme pain?
So many vivid memories as a child of my mum telling me to close my legs.
You're a female and you have nothing in between your legs, what is very important in life. I'm not against women or anything, I'm just saying that you don't need as much room because you don't have any...
With gender, we're constantly working towards trying to get to this middle.
This week of manspreading is definitely going to make me feel anxious. As much as a super strong feminist, I want to say it won't.
Just 1 minute, I just want to congratulate BuzzFeed for this great original idea what is not going to offend anybody.
I kind of secretly hope to annoy some men.
Explain one reason why men would be annoyed.
That's my first train trip as a manspreader. I just feel like a monster already. How can you do this every day without being conscious of it?
If someone near me did that, I would actually be angry because that's not manspreading, that is just spreading in general, just literally taking up 2 seats. Manspreading is basically just spreading your legs while she's slumping over.
Manspread on the bus for maybe a 5-minute ride for the first time, and it wasn't even half full, and I was already getting glared at, so I think this is going to be a kind of long week.
No, people are just looking at you because you're holding a camera up to your face. Lots of vloggers on YouTube have this problem as well, it's not just you.
It's day 2 of manspreading and I forgot that I had to do this.
That proves it then, if you forget, you don't need to do it.
We're angry or we're dominant, and so maybe a lot of the reasons why I do minimalize my presence is because I don't want to be perceived or engage with those stereotypes.
The people who think that are racist, so ignore them. Of course, a lot of women don't wear skirts, dresses and stuff like that, but sometimes women do, and if you're manspreading, then people are then see stuff, you know, you don't really, you're gonna see stuff, and that's not very nice, and you know, you don't want to see that sort of stuff, so this is the other reason why lots of women don't manspread, because it's not very good spreading when you've got a dress or a skirt on.
I just got my nails done, and I manspread during my entire manicure, and nobody really seemed to notice. I'm not sure if it was because it was all women and we were just all kind of in our own world or what, but it was kind of awesome.
So 1 minute you're complaining about manspreading, and then the next minute you're saying that it's awesome. What's the point in making this video?
I'm halfway through the week and really not enjoying this experiment at all. I'm still giving my seat up to people who need it because of course I am.
But men do that all the time, they give up their seats. It's not that they don't give up their seat and they're selfish because they manspread. It's not like they're intentionally doing it, it's just because their bits might hurt if they do that, and that lots of people who I know do give up their seat for the less fortunate.
What is it between their legs that's so important?
Oh, you know, nothing really important, just the bits what help bring life to the world.
That it requires 2 to 3 seats when they're
You'll basically be doing the splits if you're taking up 3 seats. And I can tell you, doing the splits really hurts for the good old ding-dongs.
There are kids, families, women and elderly people standing up.
I saw a guy who was taking up 2 seats. When I sat down, I spread my legs out, which kind of pushed his leg into his own seat, and he turned to me and gave me a dirty look and said, "Seriously?"
So that's going to be a bit weird if someone sits down, spreads their legs, and then bashes someone else's leg. I would be annoyed.
I started to feel a little guilty. While I was sitting there taking up 2 seats, a guy came up to sit next to me, and instead of moving over like I normally would, I kind of just had to sit there with my legs out, and instead of saying something to me, he just sat on the edge of the seat the entire time.
How can you take up 2 seats by manspreading? Manspreading is not laying down.
So I've come across another person, quote unquote, manspreading, but wait, they identify as female. Women can take up space as well?
Well, I'm just looking in the English and American laws at the moment, and it doesn't seem like there's any law on manspreading or woman spreading for ladies. That you're totally allowed to do that.
Even though I'm a confident person, I tend to make myself small even when the situation doesn't call for it, and I kind of felt uncomfortable manspreading even though there was no one around me.
It's because you haven't got used to it. Wow, let's just congratulate her on that amazing Snapchat. It's so good.
I've not enjoyed this week at all. The very first day where a group of people came on, they were going to a game and they were all desperate for a seat and I was taking up 3 seats. And
Again, that's not manspreading. That's just laying down and sleeping.
they started talking about personal space. All their eyes were just on me and they were mostly women. If it was a group of dudes, I would have been like, yeah.
Sorry for the terrible joke, but I'm going to be replacing, what is her name, Tan, with Sam Pepper's face, because in my mind it's pretty funny and they look very similar.
I thought that manspreading would kind of give me this air of disregard because I thought that I worried too much about what people think, and I've realized that I worry just enough. You should be concerned with whether or not the people around you are
But I'm more concerned about keeping my special parts intact.
comfortable because that means you're a good community member.
My favorite part of this exercise was easily when I got to sit next to men who were taking up way too much space and just forcefully work my way into the seat and without words say, "Hey, I deserve to sit here."
It doesn't matter what gender you are still allowed to sit there. Even if you're spreading, you're still allowed to sit there. There's nothing saying you can't, so stop saying you can't.
To be forced to manspread really showed me how up your own ass you have to be as a person to not be conscious of those around you.
To the man that's taking up too much space on a bus, on the plane, on the bench, we see you. You don't need that much room. To the young women out there,
Well, I'm not saying that we need 2 whole seats of room, but we do need a little bit more room than girls, because we do have stuff in between our legs.
say you should definitely be aware of your surroundings. If there's something that you want, if there's something you want to say, if there's a position that you want to hold, take up that space. You deserve that space.
Well, they do deserve that place. In the end, we're all one species. We should have the same sort of rules. There's nothing different in between girls and boys except for different parts of the body. There's nothing really different in how we treat people. Obviously, there's places in different countries where women are looked down upon, but here there's nothing to worry about. We respect women. There's there's rules. We're all the same species in the end, so yeah. And obviously that's just a minority of people in this world. There obviously is transgender people, different genders, I think there's like 63 different genders in the encyclopedia, what's crazy, but everybody has their own gender. This is only based upon what BuzzFeed has said and what these women think and stuff like that, and I'm just judging the content they create, and it's not the best content. It can be quite quite offensive. In some ways, I'm really struggling to talk today. I've been talking for quite a while into my mic, all alone in my videos. I find it ironic that they're constantly complaining about how men are very rude, but of course not all men are rude at all. Some men are pretty rude, some ladies are pretty rude, but you know, they're doing the exact same to male people. You know, they're offending men, they're offending people like that, so they're doing the exact same back to us, what's not very nice either. You probably know the drill already. Subscribe if you can be bothered. Yeah, peace out. What's up guys, CyBo here. Of course, me being a procrastinator, I haven't thought of a video to do yet. I've said this 1,000 times though. No further to look than the recommended list on YouTube. So I was watching my favourite YouTuber.